If bedtime is turning into a 1 to 2 hour battle and baby is usually crying, resisting, or popping awake the second you put them down, you are not alone. And there's usually a very specific reason why this is happening. It's one of three reasons. They're either A, overtired, which is the most common cause because missing that sleep window leads to fussiness and difficulty settling. Two, they could be undertired. Maybe their awake window between the last nap and bedtime just wasn't long enough, and they're actually not ready to sleep yet. And the third one could be separation or stimulation. Babies don't love to separate from parents. So if they're going through separation anxiety or they're overstimulated from the day, it's going to make it really, really difficult for them to be able to wind down and relax into bedtime. Maybe you also had a really fun, stimulating day and they're just not ready for it to end. We have to make sure that there is some wind down time before bedtime happens so that they are actually ready and willing to go to sleep when it's time. So here's what you're actually going to do if your child is taking forever to fall asleep at bedtime. One, you're going to adjust the timing. We're going to move an earlier bedtime if your child is overtired and very cranky throughout the bedtime routine. Or we're going to have a slightly longer awake window if they're undertired. If you're noticing they're going in and they're just playing around, they're just kind of hanging out, they seem wired and not really ready to sleep, we're going to first do a longer awake window and we're going to have some more wind down time. So you can dim the lights, you can give them a longer bath, things like that to really set the scene that bedtime is coming and expected. Then we're going to simplify that routine. We're going to make sure it's calm, it's predictable, and it's not overstimulating. We want to have the exact same steps every single night at bedtime so they always know what's coming and what's expected. But we can adjust it if they need a little bit of that longer awake window to maybe add one more book, maybe have them keep playing, but dim the lights as they're playing to really signal to their body that bedtime is coming, because all of these kind of fluorescent overhead lights that we have really tricks our body into thinking that it's daytime. So if we want them to be settling sooner, turning off or dimming the lights is going to be helpful. And then we're going to have a very clear end point. They go into the crib awake. That is always the end point. There is no coming back in. There is no additional books, more and more songs after that. We don't want to have multiple resets. Once they're into the crib, that is the very clear end point for bedtime, and we're not going back and forth. Once they're in that crib, essentially they're in that crib until morning. And then you have to stay consistent. There cannot be, sometimes I help you to sleep and I put you into the crib asleep. Sometimes I put you into the crib awake and I make you figure it out on your own. That consistency is key, and we need to have it every single night. So your child feels safe and secure, knowing exactly what to expect. And it doesn't matter what level of drowsy they are, they always know that they are going to do the same exact routine, go into the crib, and be able to figure out how to get to themselves to sleep from there. Because your baby isn't fighting sleep to give you a hard time. They are genuinely having a hard time. We want them to feel confident, to feel safe without you, to feel this level of autonomy that they know how to get themselves to sleep. And that is what I'm all about as a sleep consultant. That is my biggest piece. I want families to feel comfortable. I want babies to feel comfortable and know that everyone is safe and supported, but also has the skills and the confidence to be able to get themselves to sleep. Because developmental leaps happen, regressions can disrupt sleep as they are learning a new skill. We also have teething and illness and growth spurts that play a role, but we do not want these things to be something that you always have to be wary of, that you're always kind of like waiting for the next shoe to drop. Even when teething, illness, growth spurts, developmental leaps happen, we want these to be things that are blips, not something that you know is about to come and happen and that you're worried about. So, very quick wins. Here's what you do. If your child is doing terrible things at bedtime. If they are fighting bedtime tooth and nail, you're going to try to move bedtime 15 to 30 minutes earlier. You're going to cap all the late naps. You're going to reduce stimulation before bedtime, no screen time, no very fun, exciting play. And we're going to watch sleeping cues closely because we do not want them to get any little snooze in, because that is going to make falling asleep so much harder. And if you are struggling with sleep, if you do not know what to do next to help your child be able to fall asleep easily and stay asleep, that is where I come in. I work one-to-one with families. I have done it for my own 3 children and hundreds of other families to see sleep success in as little as 5 days. So if you are struggling with bedtimes and they are taking you longer than 20, 30 minutes to do a bedtime routine, put your child into the crib awake and walk out of the room, then we need to chat. All you have to do is go down below to the description. I have multiple resources, free and assisted, that are going to help you, but we really need to talk one-to-one to figure out exactly how to get you from point A where you are to point B where you want to be. I cannot wait to help you and your family get more sleep, and I will see you in my next video.